So we're gonna get this yard sale cleaned up out of here, and we're gonna frame the first floor deck of the cabin. It's gonna be kind of a mixture of some treated lumber and regular, because we got some funny stuff going on with these porches. We'll explain it as we go. Where'd the microwave go? He's right behind me, isn't he? Creepy. So I got this saw off Amazon. It's an Evolution. I've never used it before, but this is a steel cutting blade similar to my DeWalt chop saw. Works really well, doesn't get hot, doesn't make a lot of sparks. We're gonna try and cut those metal beams for the base. They're about a 1/4 inch thick. I don't know, I hope it works, or we're gonna have to come up with something else. So these beams I got off Marketplace from a guy that was closing his business, moving houses. He said he used these for like garages. He would pick them up and move them around, big truck. So I'm guessing they'll hold this cabin. But you could see they weren't long enough, so he put these weld joints in to make them longer. And so they come straight and they kind of tweak a little bit to the side. So I'm gonna cut that part off, because why not? We'll keep our beams nice and straight. Okay, that is awesome. That thing's fantastic. Looks like we didn't quite make it. I'm probably yelling. Looks like we didn't quite make it all the way through. We'll get a Sawzall and cut it off. We put this cart under here to kind of support this end, because this is probably 150 pounds right there. I don't want it crashing on the ground and smashing the driveway, let alone my toes. So we got all these beams in these cinder blocks. These are going to kind of mimic the foundation. I'm kind of undecided if what we do in Kentucky will be a wood beam that it sits on and we'll keep these here for future builds, or if we haul the beams with us. Either way, the cinder blocks will be concrete piers. Concrete's super expensive in Kentucky. You know, when we did Sunset Ridge cabin, a little one, we put some concrete in the crawl space, and we did ends on the culverts there. And that concrete, it was like 3 yards of concrete for, I think it was $1,500, which is winter cartage, some other fees that go with it, but it was insane. I was telling my dad that, and he sent me a picture of a check. My dad was a concrete guy from 1969 till, I don't know, the early 2000s. He kind of slow road to retirement. But he sent me a copy of a check he wrote for concrete in 1969. I think it was 6 yards of concrete for like $100. It was nuts, like $11 a yard. And then he sent me another copy of a check he wrote for like a 2-year-old International Scout and a snowplow to go with it. It was like, I don't know, $400 each. Not for both, of course. All right, well, we're pretty well laid up on our foundation, I'll say. This is going to be essentially 2 panels, so we can stack them like this on a trailer and take them. So we're going to go with a double on the outside and a double right down the middle that will bolt together and come separate later. These squares over here, if you look, these small ones, there's 2 of them here and there's 1 in the back, are going to be covered porches. So that's why these ledgers, because we want them to run the full length of the cabin, are going to be treated. And the joists that are going to wind up partially exposed to the exterior will be treated as well. And then the ones in the middle here are going to be regular lumber. When we're all done, we'll pick these 2 panels up. We're going to spray foam the underside so it's insulated, and we'll sheet it with treated plywood before we set it back down. We'll have to put some kind of coating on top of this metal if we decide to go that route. So these 3 decks are also going to be 2x8, and the middle is 2x10. So we'll have to notch them down to accommodate the smaller joists. These ones that run across the middle will notch down too. It'll make a little more sense as we go. But we're going to get these things onto the deck, get them crowned, and lay them out for the joists. We'll nail them together, and then we'll start dropping them in. Well, I'd hoped we'd get this entire thing decked today, but I'm having some battery saw issues. Also, what is it? It was like 91 or 92 degrees out, so I think it's about 400 in here and 200% humidity. So I think we're going to call it for today. We're going to get the rest of this, I'll get some pieces cut up and ready, and we'll come back next week here. It'll be like that for you guys. We'll get the second half of the deck done, get this thing sheeted, and be well on our way. Well, good morning. It's Monday here in the shop. The last time we were together, it was Thursday. And so we just kind of ran out of steam and time getting this deck done. We've had a lot going on the last few days. I went on a little 4-wheeling excursion and had to do a lot of work to my side-by-side. So you could see the workbench over here is just cluttered with the fallout as well as everything else. My wife's got a project going on over here, some things she painted. So I think today what I'm gonna do is get everything cleaned up, and I'm going to pre-cut a lot of the lumber so that when I do have help again, Thursday's kind of our build day here, we can get a lot of that stuff done. We were having some trouble with the little skill saw. I guess Skill is actually a name brand. The batteries just weren't keeping up with it. We had battery problems with cameras, all kinds of stuff. And so I ordered this skill saw off of Amazon, as one does, so that we could just have a corded saw. There's no reason building here in the shop that we should not be able to just use a cord every now and again. So this has been my tool belt setup for like 30 years. I got this Occidental tool bag. I mean, it's probably 20 something years old because I had to replace it. Sometimes I've worn 2 bags, one depending on what we do. I kind of got this a few years ago, but I bought this Perkins Builder Brothers tool belt. I did a little funny video on it. This thing's really bulky. It's really bulky. Stuff's on the wrong side. I guess I could flip it around, but I just can't get used to it. Maybe it's just old habits die hard, but just the trusty, rusty leather with a belt. I've got suspenders for this if you want to get the weight off your hips. We'll see how that goes, but I think this one's going to get hung up for now. It's a shame. It's like $300. So is this. They're not cheap, but I don't think this is for me. Okay, well, the camera battery died. This little bout of filming here has been the most frustrating YouTube experience I've had in a while. I got everything cut out here, so the next time we're together, we'll get all the joist hangers on, slap these two sections together and get them bolted off so we're ready. We'll get it sheeted. We'll, I guess, sheet the deck, put the deck boards on the decks, and we'll get this sucker ready to lay out. So anyways, come back and see us next time. Maybe everything will be working better. You guys probably don't even notice, but if we've done our job right, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.